actual play episodes of Caster's Guild. Unlike the rest of our episodes, it is highly recommended that you listen to these episodes in order. In an attempt not to ruin your immersion, we will not be reading ads during these episodes, so please help us out by checking the links in the description for T-Villain, providing awesome shirts, and for Geeky Clean, providing awesome bath products. In these episodes, our guild masters and guild members will be playing Candela Obscura, using the quick start rules available in the description. Candela Obscura is a horror tabletop role-playing game about occult investigators who hunt down dangerous supernatural forces, making incursions into a world very much like your own. Elements of body horror, human cruelty, violence, death, and the supernatural commonly present themselves to our investigators. Such things come with the territory. These episodes also contain adults reacting to extreme situations, and as such, mature language is to be expected. Therefore, listener discretion is advised.
Looking out, though, upon the scene, you see no periphery here. What you do see are bodies. There are several bodies on the ground. They are all lying in pools of their own blood. Each of the bodies are in various states of damage. There are chunks ripped out of a lot of these bodies. Some of these bodies have body parts ripped out or off of them. There are parts of people's faces missing, eyes, lower jaws, the face itself. Now, those of you, Jason, you rolled a 6, you're fine. For some reason, you walk out and it's like, this is not good. Gothy, you walk out, you're not okay with what you're seeing right now. It's not great. Those of you who failed, however, are going to take a mark. There is you, and I know that you can, like, you didn't know the what you were rolling for, so if you were wanting to use any of your resistances, now is the time to do it. But you are going to take a mental mark if you do not. A brain mark, I should say.
My resistance was the only thing I didn't write down. Hang on a second.
So if you
resistance for later,
if you have a max number of drives on your intuition in this case, for every 3 max you get 1 resistance.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, so yeah, I will use one of my resistances so I can re-roll just that roll, right? Which was sense.
It was yes, it was sense, yes. So basically, the idea is what you've walked down into is so horrifying that you're not okay with what you're seeing.
Okay, I got a 5-second go.
Okay, cool. You're still not good, but it doesn't affect you horribly. Cassidy, yeah, this you're used to being in your your lab and working. This is not something you're used to walking out in. Larry, this is affecting you horribly for a completely different reason.
Gotcha.
Cassidy's probably frozen behind the bar right now, trying to just calm herself and take it in before she does anything.
Cassidy is frozen behind the bar. Artemir?
Can I know that you said that chunks were missing. Can I see whether they're, littered on the floor around the bodies, or if they're just straight, have been taken by something?
Quick glance, you would almost say a little of both. You can account for some of the missing parts. Other missing parts, not so much. Also, Raven, Howard, Artemir, you do see that 2 of your members are not handling this too well. Again, it's just 1 mark. You're not, incapacitated or anything. However, being frozen is a completely legit reaction to what's going on.
Almost without thinking, Larry grabs a bottle of whiskey nearby, uncorks it, and takes a drink. And then, realizing what he just did, he puts the bottle down.
Did you aim high or did you aim low?
High.
Oh, okay. Good man.
If Larry's
Did you grab
secondary
the
factories is
other
going to take
whiskey?
over, he's going to reach for the expensive stuff.
Would that have been some of the otherware stuff then? Is that the top shelf stuff because it's the hardest to get a hold of?
Actually, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, you
Raven,
grab some of that otherware. What was that, Raven?
Raven will try, like, she'll turn her face towards it, but kind of tries to comfort Cassidy a little bit.
Cassie could probably use the comfort.
Like,
Take a
she's
moment to try
awkward
and
with
catch her
it,
breath.
but she's trying. She's like back pats.
Awkward sibling hug.
uh,
Oh yeah, I know at least one of you watches that show, so yeah, we're good.
Pat.
I mean,
Go ahead.
Artemir, I think, is like very gingerly like skirting around the blood pools to the best of his ability, just kind of trying to get a peripheral view of the scene.
Okay, I don't know how redheads walk around stuff like that, but you do you. Yes. Anyways,
Nice.
Howard, what were you doing?
I was gonna say, just ask Larry. Like, you alright, big guy?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Howie.
I guess I'll try to see like, if there's like, just investigate the bodies. Is like rough like scratches, like tears, or anywhere, or is it like clean cuts on the parts that are?
I will say, you having kept your composure the best, I will say that you are able to get out there and give it a look. You can see that there are some scratches, but there are just rips, or like you don't think these arms were cut off. You think they were just pulled straight out. Oh, also, by the way, the whiskey that you drank, it's not good. It's
probably good based off what he usually drinks. It's probably
no.
Oh, really?
No.
Even worse?
Yeah, it's very almost like paint thinner kind of flavor to it. It's very harsh. It's very gross.
He won't spit it out because Larry's not that kind of guy. But
right.
This time he will. This time, now that he's not like just reacting, now that it's not like subconscious, like he looks around for a brand he knows and washes the taste out of his mouth.
Yep. You would guess that the only reason why this is popular at all in places like this is because it's illegal. You also remember why otherware was even invading the Fairlands at one point.
I'll take the first bottle of stuff that I drank, and I'll hand it to Cassidy and be like, you should probably research this at some point in time and see if I should be worried.
Shaky, but she just kind of takes it. She's like, okay. She's starting to snap out of it a little bit, but she's not quite there yet.
The comfort, the awkward sibling pats, the thought of research is kind of pulling you out of it. It's getting you, or better yet, it's pulling your mind away from the current situation. So they're helping you disassociate, I guess.
I guess. It sounds a little bit like one of those sense watches from earlier.
So at this point, I will say that two people are going to have problems doing what I'm about to ask, but if anybody wants to investigate at this point, this is where go ahead and do a focus roll for me.
Can I also pull out a bleed detector?
How dare you? Yeah, you can.
Okay, cool. So,
yep.
Is that going to alter this roll for me?
I don't know what the mechanics of a bleed detector are. However, I will say too that this is the perfect example of how equipment works in this game. Is if you think you would have brought it with you, just let me know and you have it. But yeah, so what are the... Does it have mechanics?
I don't even...
Okay, so...
Not
we're
in the
just gonna
quick
make
start guide. I'm just going to assume that like if there is bleed, it beeps or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I was
like
going to treat it like the Ghostbusters thing.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I will go ahead and let you do that. What are everybody else doing?
Trying to decide if I should use a drive or not for this investigation check. I'll just do straight roll. 5.
Cassidy is probably in her attempt to get out of her shock. She's grabbing some of the research materials that she brought with her, and she'll do the focus roll and see what happens.
Okay, what are you focusing on?
Seeing if any of the signs from the bodies match any of the other research that have come up in the past in terms of trying to identify what's happened.
Sure.
In an attempt not to look at the bodies, Larry's going to focus on the setting, like the room, and see if we can find broken chairs, claw marks on walls, something that might indicate where something would have gone or come from.
Sure.
And I think I'm specifically trying to find like the highest, once I start getting a read on bleed, like where the epicenter is.
Right. Yeah, that's what I figured. I got you covered. As soon as you pull out something that's going to take you somewhere, it's like, okay, I got you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
I have a question.
What's up?
You said they're they're in here. Were they all drinking?
Indications point to yes. There are different, open glasses. There are open bottles. You see some on the bar. You see, a table that has some glasses at it. You see smashed cups, glasses on the ground.
Is it possible that she could check if maybe it's a possibility what might have triggered all of this? Maybe might have something to do with the drinks?
Could, yeah. But yeah, you'll just have to give me a focus roll.
I got a 4, by the way, in checking out the setting.
Okay.
Mine is a 5 in terms of trying to see if any signs of research can help with us.
Sure.
I guess I wanted to look through, does any of the bodies, stand out to be, if anybody maybe looks like, I don't know, either they wouldn't be here normally, or if maybe, I guess I want to look through, pockets and things like that to see if I can just identify somebody to see if they were a cause of something. Or
what did you roll?
I rolled 2 6s.
2 6s? Okay.
Yeah.
And you rolled a 5, Jason?
5, yeah.
Okay. Jason. Howard. And then, okay, Raymond. Artemir. Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind. Don't worry about you.
I'm do I need to roll something? I can roll a thing.
Larry, you didn't... What were you doing again? You were looking for...
I was looking over at the
damage?
the setting, see, it's broken chairs, claw marks on walls.
And what did you roll?
4.
4? Okay, and then Cassidy rolled a 3 and a 4, you said?
4 and a 5, but the 5 was on the
4 and a 5.
Nice.
Okay, Cassidy, you do not see anything that has popped up under any of the investigations, which in and of itself is information in that this doesn't match anything that you guys have ran into before. Larry, it just looks like damage. It just looks like just stuff is smashed and stuff like that. Nothing that is helping you identify anything. Raven, what were you checking out again?
The drink. Because she sees that everyone was drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much she wants to see if maybe this was the cause.
Gotcha.
The beginning.
They were all drinking the same thing.
And then, okay, yeah, I got that. And then Howard, what were you looking up again?
I just wanted to look more in people's pockets or things, see if there's anything that,
You are kind of looking around, Howard, and you actually, as you get close to one of the bodies, you see that one of them has a wallet that's kind of sitting on its chest.
I'll pick it up and rifle through.
Sure. Yeah, you rifle through it, and you notice, there's some money in here. It is not a small chunk of change either. And you see one of the forms of identification in here identifies this particular person as an official, like a city official.
Okay.
His name is Harlan Graves, and he actually is a low level kind of politician slash. I don't want to say that he's not in the law enforcement or anything like that, but he's a high level clerk almost. He helps with certain zoning issues and such like that. Definitely someone that would benefit keeping happy. You know, if you kept this person happy, you can clear certain things, you can get certain things done. But yes.
Okay. I will, I guess, share that information with everybody. Maybe that could be why there's a larger, well, obviously the scene as a whole probably would draw a lot of attention, but could be why there's a larger group of officers around, just because it, was someone that they probably knew of.
Absolutely. Raven, as you are looking around, you do notice there are a few are noticing, like, some of the drinks are fine. They look like your normal, like I said, like a martini, or there's like a tumbler with some whiskey in it. There's like even one table that had like a big champagne bottle there. You're noticing, though, that there are several glasses, actually, that have a weird, like a film in it. It looks like it was like a thick liquid that was part of one of the drinks. It looks like that, but when you kind of swirl it around, you realize it has like a water consistency, so it's not thick, but it's kind of silvery at the same time, like almost metallic. But that is in several glasses.
She'll take like all the drinks that have that consistency and give it to Cassidy.
Okay.
Is the bartender's body behind the bar?
You do not see anybody behind the bar.
Okay.
Guess I'll roll and see if I recognize the substance.
Okay. Tell me how you're examining it.
I do have my little to-go laboratory equipment kit in my bag, or like my hip bag. So I probably have some sort of like litmus test paper thing to try and figure out something about it, at least. See if I recognize it or where it would be on the level.
Sure.
More science words.
We'll go ahead and say this is going to take a while, but go ahead and give me a focus test on that for me, please.
I got a 3 and a 6.
Perfect. And then, I guess as you're doing that, like I said, you're going, it is experimentation, so you're going through a few things. Artemir, you are using your bleed detector, and it actually, as you're like walking around, you see that there is, it automatically kicks off. It's not like a heavy part, but just out here on the floor, you are getting a bit of a bleed. But as you walk around, you are noticing there is a certain part of the room that is kicking off more bleed than the rest of it, and it leads you to another door, actually.
Oh, it looks like most of the bleed residue may be coming from this area instead of the regular bar. Also, Raven, you may want to check behind the bar, maybe see if you can find a bottle of that liquid. It might help Cassidy figure it out if there's a label on it.
You just see Raven with bottles that were suspicious to her and just already handing them to Cassidy.
We're just going to build you a little to-go bar to go along with your to-go laboratory.
Side hobby is bartending. Mixology.
Mixology. You smoke the glasses and everything. Very bougie.
Hell yeah.
Is the door open or is the door closed?
Door's closed.
Okay. Can I listen through it kind of like I did before to see if I can hear any people in the next room?
Yep, give me another focus roll. Focus is heavily used.
Yeah, as
So
long as
much
we're
focus.
investigating.
Okay, I got a 6.
Sure. You do hear activity on the other side. You think you hear someone breathing.
Like close to the door?
Either close to the... Yeah, probably close enough for you to hear.
Like they're listening to us while we're listening for them?
Could be.
I'm gonna gesture for Larry to come over.
Yeah,
But I'm
absolutely.
gonna motion for him to be quiet.
I, as quietly as possible, head over to the door.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask very quietly, can you hear the breathing?
I listen for it.
Give me a roll.
Can I offer you a drive since I'm kind of pointing you to what you're trying to listen to?
Yeah, and that's probably a really good idea. Okay, without the drive, it would have been a 1. With the drive, it's a 5.
Ooh. Yeah, you see Larry walking up to the door, and it looks like he's just about to open it to listen. And you're like, no. So you do stop and listen, and what you hear is you don't hear the breathing, but you do hear a little bit of shuffling back there.
Gotcha.
Is there like a at the bottom of the door? Is there like space, or
Is
is
there a
it
gap
on
that
the
we can
floor? Is
look
there a
through?
gap? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little space
Can I
down
like
there.
try to look up?
Fit under there? No.
Not fit.
No.
Like look for feet. Yeah, it's just a slide
Like
under
a
the
rat.
door. Yeah. No, like like try to look, see if there's like feet or.
Yeah, you can look under there. Do you lower yourself down? You probably have to put a little towel down so that you don't lay in blood. But
Ideally not.
Tablecloth.
you go down to the bottom of the door, right? And you peek down, and all you see is an eye looking back at you. And it quickly disappears. And you do hear the shuffling again behind the door.
Did it look like human or?
Yeah, it looked like a
Okay.
human.
That's good.
Give me, you know what though? Give me a not a focus, not sense. Give me a maybe sense. No,
If you're leaning
I'll let
sense,
you
I won't
choose.
complain.
I'll let you choose survey or sense.
Well, sense, because survey is 0 and sense is 2.
Sure.
So
Sure.
It's a valid reason.
5 and 4, so 5.
5 and 4. Yeah, you did see an eye. It did appear to be human, but there was something off about it. But it was gone too fast for you to be able to see.
I'll tell
Artemir's
them
trying
quietly
to-
as well that someone was trying to watch us under the door as well.
Larry's instinct is to chase this person down, so open the door goes.
Okay.
Artemir's gonna slightly hang back because if you had mentioned that there was something off about it, he may have charged in. But with it just being people nonsense, he's slightly reluctant.
You open up the door. It opens out,
Mhm.
and you see a chair kind of fall in to the room.
Okay.
And you see that this is like a storage room. You see more alcohol bottles in here.
Uh-huh.
You see some kegs. You see a bunch of different stuff. Some of the bottles in here you recognize as Scarlet. And there are boxes and stuff like that doesn't really have any kind of like identifying features. But there is a very scared in here. And again, you can tell he's a bartender. He has, again, the rolled up sleeves. He's got the arm garters that are keeping, his sleeves from sliding down. He's got the apron. He's not covered in blood, but again, he's got blood on his hands, and he's got bits of blood staining his apron. The bottoms of his shoes are bloody. Some of the blood's even seeped into this, ran underneath the door there. So again, it kind of like his shirt and stuff's kind of ripped up too. His pants, his apron. He does also have injuries on him. Anybody looking at this, he definitely looks, harassed a bit. Larry, again, this is kind of freaking you out a little bit.
Gotcha. I'll just take a step back for a minute and allow room for others to see what's going on.
Artemir will walk in. Well, hello.
He kind of backs up even more, which you didn't really think that was possible because his back is up against one of the shelves at this point. But yeah, he looks like he's
putting
about
himself on the shelf.
right.
So, Artemir pretty much once he gets in the doorway, we'll stop it. We'll come a little bit further forward so that if somebody else wants to come into the room, they can. But we'll stop moving forward at that point.
Gotcha. Yeah. He does seem, he's not hysterical or anything like that, but he is definitely, he doesn't seem to be in his right mind.
I'll ask him if he's okay, if he needs any medical attention. It looks like he just want to make sure he's alright. Or
I will say that at this point, if anybody's trying to calm him down, this is going to be a roll. If you can get him calmed down, this is when you'll be able to interact with him in a reasonable way. However, if you want,
Well, Howie, a slave roll is right up your alley.
yeah.
What is it?
Sway.
Convince, command, consort.
Yeah, I think that one of those should be fine.
Just met this man.
But,
Are you trying to consort with him?
choose how you are interacting with him, and then tell me how you're interacting with him.
Yeah, I want to obviously have to get in the room, but still far away. To try to seem as least menacing as possible or threatening. Just be
Non-threatening.
say like, hey, like we're just trying to figure out what was going on, but I want to make sure that that you're okay. It looks like you've been through some stuff. Just do you need anything we can do to help?
Use that
Go ahead
famous
and,
disarming personality.
Do a magic trick for him to calm down. Is this your car?
It freaks him out. It freaks him out even more because he thinks it's real magic at this point.
Actual magic.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll.
Alright, I'm gonna use drive. Get roll high, get it right back. 4, 4, 2. So 4. Which was the drive, so I get it back.
Yeah, he does not calm down.
Oh.
But he doesn't freak out even more. He just doesn't calm down.
Okay.
Does he answer at all? Like if he's is he still
he
just
Still
alive?
answered-
hyperventilating?
He answers like with heavy breathing and like a crazed look in his eyes.
Ask if there's like any, or is it obvious at the bar? Is there like any water that we could try to?
Oh yeah, there's water there.
Guess I try to like go grab some water to offer.
Oh, well, while he's grabbing the water, can I just kind of try to, by looking at this guy, is he like physically damaged that I can see at all? Or is he just bloodied from the chaos?
Both actually. He does have some damage to him.
Okay. We are here to help. I understand you've been through something awful, but me and my friends, we are here to assist you and the situation.
Yeah, you can go ahead and give me a sway roll as well.
I was kind of hoping to stall until he came back for water in the hopes that I could borrow a drive. I'm not very goofily.
No, that's fine. I'm not. Again, I'm not like trying to trap you into doing something because you did something too soon. If you want to wait for him to come back with the water so that he can give you a drive, by all means.
I will definitely
Yeah,
give you the draft.
okay. Because I have nothing in sway. I'm not very people good. Okay. That's a 6.
So the water, the calm words, the attempt at calm words earlier also, the persistence at just trying to calm him down and not trying to, slap him in the face to get him to snap out of it. He starts to calm down. He's still kind of like looking around at all of you. He's drinking the water. His hand is shaking the whole time. But yeah, he's calmed down now. At this point, he can be conversed with.
What happened here?
He takes another drink. You see him kind of like reach for like some of the alcohol that's in here, and he's like, just drink some little more water. And, he shakes his head at trying to talk himself into drinking some of the alcohol to calm his nerves, and he seems very put off by it. They just started killing each other. They just started ripping at each other, and they're screaming, crying.
Did you
They're just laughing.
did it start with a particular patron?
I don't know. I was in the back and I came out and I thought a fight was happening. But it didn't look like a fight. It didn't look like anybody was hitting anybody. It's just they just started hurting each other. I saw someone eating pieces off of people.
Can I look down at the bleed detector in Artemir's hand and see if it's still clicking away?
Yep.
I'll go,
It is.
hey, Artie, and I point down at the...
Can I take just like a couple of steps towards him now that he's calmer and see if it picks up going off more as I get closer to him?
Yes, it does.
It seems you've been through something very awful this night. I apologize.
You take that moment to empathize with him, and you didn't.
As Artie
he just-
steps forward, can I fill
he
the
just-
doorway?
Yeah,
Okay.
he breaks down in tears.
Artie very quickly is like,
It's not like he's like trying to like come towards you and like hug you or anything like that, but he
Right,
is.
right. No, I got it. Just the display is enough, really.
Yep. Anybody with any kind of read at all, you would guess that he was very worried that nobody would believe him. You would
Oh.
believe that he especially was worried that the periphery would not believe him, as he is the only living person in this building.
I'm gonna kind of lean over to Larry. I think he needs to come with us.
I'll kind of extend out one of my big mitts and be like, "Hey, buddy, we're here to help, and we're not as aggressive as the periphery. We believe you. We just want you to tell us everything that happened. Would you like to come with us?"
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Are we leaving now?
Yeah, you
Soon.
and me. We're gonna leave. A couple of my buddies want to probably still gonna look around a little bit, but you and me, we're gonna step outside.
I would, before you leave, I would like to kind of have one of the glasses with that silvery residue in it and ask him if he can identify this liquid before he goes.
Okay. He says that it's a new shine that he got. It was, yeah, because he makes the purchases. So yeah, he got a new supplier. Someone approached him about trying some new stuff, and yeah, this is it was really popular for a few weeks. He was actually gonna get more here pretty soon.
Who was, or where could we find the supplier?
I was gonna meet him outside of town. His name was what was it again? What was his name? Wyatt.
Wyatt.
It's gonna be
Thank you.
Wyatt Mayfield.
And a last name too. Fantastic.
Howie, can I borrow
Yeah.
your jacket?
Sure.
I'm gonna wrap Howie's jacket around this guy. That way, if anybody were to see us leaving the building, they won't see that he's covered in blood. And after they're done questioning, I'll leave them to kind of also continue to investigate anything else that might be in this building and head out back through the cellar door.
Okay.
Is there any result coming up from the little chemical test that Cassidy and Raven are doing? Now that they know the bottle that the bartender
Yeah.
identified?
After you go through your tests and everything like that, you do obviously have a few different litmus tests that you take it through. The thing that it is popping for is bleed. There is a significant amount of bleed coming out of this.
And that was on that silvery liquid stuff.
Yeah.
I do have a bleed containment vial. Could I take a sample of it just to keep with my stuff so we don't have to carry around the whole bottle?
Absolutely. As you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna go back because you said that the bleed was more intense in the center of the room. I was going to see if it was the same intensity as it. Did I misunderstand?
The bleed is more. Maybe I may have also said it wrong, but the bleed is more intense in that room. Oh wait, you said the center of the room. What room? The room that the guy was in?
No, I thought that it was more intense towards the center of the bar room floor.
Oh no, no, it's more intense in that room that guy was in.
Where he was. Okay. Is it still reading really intense even though he's left?
Yep.
Can I see if I can maybe track the
Sure can.
most of that down?
So while they're doing that, Larry, you're taking this guy out. You do get his name. His name is Douglas Fairchild. He is the owner, the bartender of this little area. You know that most speakeasies, especially at this level, are generally ran and owned by the same person. The bigger, better speakeasies are generally, owned by organized crime. So he tells you that he usually meets, what did I say his name was? He usually meets Wyatt at a rest stop closer to the foothills of the mountains. Get the name of these mountains because I still try to remember all of the foothills of the Bridleborn Mountains. Not necessarily in the Scarletwood region. He thinks it's kind of weird that these guys don't sell Scarlet like a lot of the other people from those areas do. But that's part of why he got this stuff, because it wasn't Scarlet, and it might be something that they may be able to sell some of. But yeah. But it's the road out of town. You take that, and then there's a rest stop kind of before you get there, and that's kind of like the halfway point where they meet.
Could I slightly run a second and just when I was taking off my jacket and hand it to him, could I say that I asked him if, because I wanted to, but if he had, I guess, partaken in any of that drink in the last,
He
like that?
Yes, but just like initial like sampling and stuff like that. I'm not going to sell something that I've not tried before.
I meant more specifically like that night or whenever.
Yeah, no, that's what
Particularly
that's what I'm saying. That's the only time he's done it was initially. After that, he doesn't really. Yeah, he's like, I don't really drink.
When he said it had been popular for a few weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking if he was like giving off the bleed more than anything, I was saying if he had maybe had it.
No, you guys figure out pretty quick that it's not him that was putting off the bleed. It was the room that he was in.
Oh, got you.
Are there any more of can I find any bottles of that silvery liquid in the room?
Yep, they are actually in earthenware jugs. It looks like there's about 5 earthenware jugs in here that have liquid in them. And then there are 6 earthenware jugs that are completely empty. And they are in a crate. And it looks like they are ready to be moved. They're just like, the regular earthenware colors. Like the dark brown on the bottom and the cork on the top. And they've got like 3 X's on the front, which is very weirdly stereotypical, but that's just, I guess that's how they labeled them. So,
can I pull the crate and the bottles over to the bar top? That way I can set them down kind of in the area Cassidy's set up.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a bunch of empties that had that liquid, but there's also still some full ones. We may want to take an unopened one just to test, see if it may not have the same amount of bleed in each.
Cross-examine it compared to what we found in the drink.
Yes.
It might be fine on its own, but if it's mixed with something else, maybe that's what got us this reaction.
Could have a catalyzing effect.
Everybody, clap your hands. No, what I'm going to need you to do. I'm going to need people to give me a survey. No. I'm sorry. Sense. Give me a sense.
5.
I got a 4.
2. For this one, I'm gonna use one of my things though. When you use an intuition to make a roll and you fail that roll, earn any intuition back. Does that mean I can roll again, or
when you roll an intuition and you fail the roll, what happens?
I earn that intuition back that I used.
No.
Yeah.
I think
that's a drive thing.
That's a drive thing.
That's
Okay.
which basically is that essentially saying you get to use a drive for free? That's kind of what it sounds like.
Kinda, yeah.
Oh,
So
no.
basically,
Yeah.
if you use the drive
If you fail it.
and then you fail it, you get that drive back.
Okay.
Right.
I did not
That's
use
cool.
the drive initially, so I'll just take what I rolled and
Okay.
keep that in mind for later. I rolled a 2.
Okay. Well,
I'm outside. Are you wanting me to?
no, not you. Well, at least someone got a 5. So let's just say, Howard, you hear someone at the door. Not the door that you guys came in, not the door that this guy was in, but there's another door over across the other side of the room, and you hear somebody at that door.
I guess you've got stuff set up. I guess we either need to. I guess I'll tell them. Yeah, that I hear somebody. It sounds like they're coming in through. I'll motion towards that door. I don't know if we should. I guess we should bow.
Scatter.
Cheese it.
You just hear
Because
Artemis
that Cassidy
try to
starts
just grab
collecting all
as
of it.
much of the stuff as possible to run out.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, we don't have cameras.
If only we had our own little Candela Obscura body cams.
We don't have that kind of funding.
Not yet, anyways. But yeah, it should be like scatter.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you're taking off back towards where you came from.
Yeah, back to the cellar door.
Who's the last person in?
What do you mean?
Probably Artemir.
Okay.
Unless Raven decides to be in the back. But I assume that I would follow behind Cassidy with the rest of her stuff.
Yeah, I will. How about this? I will assume that Cassidy is trying to get out of there faster than anybody. Artemir, you were first in. I'm going to assume that you're going to be one of the first out.
Okay.
I will say, given their background, I will say that Raven is probably the last one out. Raven, as you are closing the door behind you, you see the door across the way open up, and you do see members of the periphery starting to walk in. And you do hear did you hear that?
She would look at the group.
Probably just
and-
the wind.
Trying to move as quickly but as quietly as possible.
Yeah. She will quietly barricade the door to buy them some time.
Just throw all of the jars of pickles against the door.
If there's a chair nearby.
Luckily for you, this door does open in. So yeah, you can barricade it as best you can. Just as you get the door kind of or the chair kind of propped up against the handle, you get a couple things like pushed over. One of the boxes actually makes a noise, and you hear the door handle starting to jiggle.
After that, she's just like scattered.
Hop to it.
Like
Grab a pickle on the way out and just.
she grabs the pickle jar.
I'll ask Artemir if he can, he knows obviously the area a bit better living here. If he wants to lead us maybe a way that we could sneak away easier or get lost.
Yeah, no, there are absolutely alleys around here that are I'm learning to navigate.
Would she knows any secret areas out of here?
I would assume, again, based off y'all's backgrounds, it's not going to be hard. You know, Raven, you probably have certain areas that you know are safe, that you know are generally unknown by the periphery. Larry and Artemir, I'm sure, again, you both know your way around. So it's
Right. I mean, if we need to regroup, we could always use Artemir's apartment too if we wanted to regroup before we try to head back to the circle or something.
Right.
Yeah, but are you
Yeah.
cool with leaving Dougie at your apartment? Is the question.
We won't
know what's
be
funny?
leaving him there.
I want to point out, I think it's hilarious that I was like this close to just calling him Dougie, like as his little street name kind of thing. I was like that close. I was like, nah, I'll just keep it with Douglas. It's fine.
That's a Larry thing. It's like he called Howard Howie, Artemer Artie. Like it's
No,
Dougie.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I was like, people on the street level would call him Dougie. That's kind of like what was in my head, and I was just like, nah. Yeah, so okay, sure, it sticks.
While I am not comfortable leaving him there, I am comfortable momentarily allowing us all to coalesce there.
Yeah, no, I figure you can go there, you can regroup, you can, get everybody composed, especially, Dougie, get everybody composed and get everything packed up so that you can go in a more dignified fashion. You can catch a trolley and make it back to the chapter house, no problem.
Before we head back to the chapter house, while we're gathering ourselves, I want to see if I can get it out of Dougie when the next meeting was supposed to be.
He was supposed to be leaving tomorrow morning. He was going to go. It would take him most of the day to get there. He would meet him at the rest stop, do the pickup, do the payoff. He was going to stay at the rest stop that night and then come back the next morning.
I think it goes without
gonna
saying
have
that you're not going to that meeting.
He's completely fine with that. Because since he technically doesn't have a bar anymore, there's no reason.
He could still have a bar. He could rebuild. It's just a little blood in the floorboards. I'm sure that we've got people for that.
He picks an ear off of his shoulder.
Blood on the dance floor.
Artemir will take that from him and just kind of thank you.
You have to double check, make sure it's not his ear.
Check both sides. Okay. Pocket it. Wrap it in a little handkerchief. Artemir is gonna hold up one of the empty earthenware jugs and be like, "Are you supposed to return these to him when you get a new shipment?"
Yeah, he shakes his head yes.
Okay.
Raven casually eating another pickle, like sitting on your shelf or your counter.
You could offer one to Dougie. I think they're his pickles.
Eats another pickle.
Yeah,
eat your pickle.
If the conversation comes up, he does mention that he did make those pickles. They were his great grandma's recipe, and she was. You find out that his great grandmother was actually part of the regular working class people who was met by his great grandfather of the Fairchild family. Fairchilds are long standing family in the city. He is the black sheep of his family, having elected to live and work in the Red Lantern district or Red Lamp district. God damn it.
So close. I will say, since we are in Artemir's flat right now, it's a mess of clothing and frippery kind of on every available surface, intermixed with books.
Mm-hmm.
Just books and clothes everywhere. And then there's like a corner that's got a bunch of canvases set up that are covered in a drop sheet.
She's just gonna like simply mouthful. He needs to work with us for the pickles.
For the pickles.
We'll talk to Cookie when we get back to the chapter.
Right.
Oh, Larry, Cookie says hi, by the way.
Oh yeah, I mean, really nice guy. I mean, I don't know what I did to deserve all this attention, but I mean, as long as he keeps feeding me.
Must just be
Okay,
something
yeah.
about your look.
It does sound like we need
Great.
to figure out a way to either intercept or replace Dougie, as you called him, during this little meetup. What kind of plan should we be making?
I mean, I assume one of us can go as the theoretical new owner of the bookstore.
Well,
I'm
the
gonna
first
like
thing-
lean over to Dougie. Was the speakeasy called the bookstore, or was that just the building it was in?
The bookstore was actually called the Nook, but the speakeasy was called the bookstore.
Understood.
I asked Dougie if he has a place that he can go that he would feel safe, because I don't want to kidnap the guy if there's a place that he can go.
Oh, I feel like we could kidnap him. That would be fine.
I'm sure the chapter house
he
has a place.
hadn't thought about it before, but he's like, I guess I could always try to go back to Dad's place.
Well, it's up to you, but if you don't have a place, we have a place, and
Oh,
you
well,
can
then-
come
And
with
if you
us.
do have a place, we can get you there.
Okay. Yeah, I would rather not go back to Dad's. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you are offering a place, I'll stay. Is it one of y'all's places?
I think
Sorta.
it would be best to bring him back to the chapter house.
Yes.
Okay, he doesn't know what you're talking
our
about, but
organization does have our organization does have bunkhouses to provide to those in need.
okay, all right.
And as
Yeah,
you have
he
been so
agrees.
forthcoming in this investigation.
Yeah, he's pretty pliable right now. He'll do whatever it takes.
Okay. So, are there any other tests that we want to run while we're here? Or do we just want to pack up the stuff in a more convenient assemblage and then head to the chapter house directly?
I mean, without just upright mixing the liquids that we have and wasting some of that evidence to see if it has some sort of reaction, I don't think there's much we can do right now. We need to figure out the source and get information from that.
Yeah, we can get back to the chapter house and let Robbie smell it.
Yeah. Get him an extra bucket just in case.
He did look rather green when I saw him earlier this morning.
He's a trooper.
That is a word.
That is a word that applies to people. All right. Yeah, you guys get back to the chapter house, no problem. Taking the time to collect yourselves and, again, not immediately flee to a trolley car probably worked out best so you don't look panicked and such.
And out of sorts.
Right. Yeah, you get back to the chapter house, no problem.
Get Howie's coat
you-
back.
I probably
escort-
could have given Dougie a change of clothes so we're not hiding him under Howie's coat, too.
Okay.
Right. And then you get Howie. You get Dougie to the bunkhouse where he kind of sits there on one of the bunks, just looking at the floor.
You may rest here if you can find it.
I'm kind of afraid to fall asleep right now.
That's understandable. If you would like other company, the kitchen is open, and there are typically people in it.
Okay, yeah, and then he just kind of sits there.
Just stands in the doorway for another second, and then just leaves.
What was the name of the contact that Douglas mentioned?
Wyatt
Wyatt Mayfield.
Mayfield. Yep.
Wyatt Mayfield. Once they get back, Cassidy is probably going to see if they have a name like that on file, anything connected to that.
Okay.
Would Raven recognize that name from any of her contacts or anything?
Yeah, would she?
You can give me a not focus. Or is it focus? You want focus.
Remember is focus. Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty. Let's see.
I can give you a drive on that if you need it.
I think I might need a focus, maybe? Because I rolled 2 3s.
I'll offer a drive on that one if it's possible.
Sure.
That means you roll an
I'm
extra.
gonna roll. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a reroll. You just roll an extra die.
Okay. Oh, 6.
Woo!
There you
There
go.
we go.
So just kind of like running through your memory and such. You it's not that you don't remember any contact with him. You're pretty sure that you've never had any contact with someone by that name.
Okay.
She'll say, I think that his name rings a bell.
In the had we received an initial missive? I know that we had gotten a note that had the address on it. Did it have other information about the assignment on it? No.
Nope.
Can I go hunt down our boss?
I mean, sure, yeah.
Did we didn't get a name for him? Does he have a name?
No, you did not get a name for him. That's
Okay.
unfortunate. You never knew this guy's name, ever.
Okay, he's just boss. Alright. But yeah, if I can track him down, I want to see if I can get information on the names and maybe where the people that have previously gone missing hail from, and also provide the information that there is now a high-profile victim in this particular one.
Okay. Your boss, kind of, the chapter head, I should say. Well, I guess he'd be your lightkeeper. He's your lightkeeper.
Yeah.
That's the word I think I've been looking for this whole time. His name is Solomon Thornhill.
That's a rad name.
That is our ad name.
Alright, can I go to his office or whatever? Knock on the door?
Yes. You hear enter.
Boss, we just got back from the bookstore. I wanted to see if we could get access to the names of the previous missing individuals, but I also wanted to provide the information that there was a high-profile victim at the location. It looks like Harlan Graves, he was a clerk, passed away in the incident.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of information. We just knew that there was something going on.
Do you have an approximate time frame of when the missing people stopped, I suppose, showing up?
We have had reports from the past couple weeks of people going missing.
That lines up.
It does line up with the information we've already received. We did also, we are providing refuge to the sole survivor of the incident as far as we have found. We have set him up in the bunkhouse, but you may wish to watch him. He did not appear to be a source of bleed, but he has come into contact with something rather odd.
Okay. Where is he right now?
The third bunkhouse room down.
All right.
He may or may not be having a bit of an episode.
I can go ahead and keep an eye out for him.
I
And
appreciate it.
I'll go ahead and send him whatever we need to for whatever kind of support he may need, especially mentally and emotionally.
I'm sure that he would appreciate it. I will return to the circle and report back should we find anything else of import.
All right.
I'll head back. I'll probably go towards where Cassidy's desk is, because I assume that she would have gotten set back out.
Yeah, can I roll to see if the Wyatt Mayfield name pops up anywhere?
Yeah, you can definitely do a check.
What role would that be?
That's going to be
That'd be-
focused still.
Focus still. Okay. I got a 3 and a 4.
Okay, yeah, nothing really pops up.
And could I take a look through some of the like chemistry, alchemy texts to see if I can find any mention of a bleed reactive substance that has like that liquid's qualities?
Yep, you can go ahead and try that too.
Is that going to also be focus?
Correct.
Got a 5 on the gilded too.
Okay, yeah, nothing matching that description is really popping up.
Okay. Well, we seem to rather be in the dark.
And what did you roll for your check on the name?
4 and a 3.
Okay. All right. Yeah, nothing really pops up for that, unfortunately.
Even with all the dead ends right now, Cassidy is happy to be back in research mode at her desk. She likes this challenge. So now they just got to figure out how to. We just need to figure out how to intercept this Wyatt guy.
Is the travel time for us going to have to be the same, or do we have access to like faster traveling than Dougie would have to get over to the meeting place?
Yeah, you'd probably have to leave around the same time. There isn't really a lot of options as far as transportation at this point in time. There isn't really a lot of vehicles, I guess, available at this point in time.
Right.
So you're still generally relying on horse, wagon, carriage, stuff like that.
Got you. All right. We'll have to get a hackney.
What?
A hackney, they're cabs for hire.
Oh, I thought you said, I have to get acne. I was like, what?
I thought you said acne too. I was like,
the same thing. I just didn't
Yeah.
want to say anything.
like
I
allergic
apologize.
to horses.
Yep. Yeah.
Get some hay
Just
fever.
immediate hay fever. Yeah.
When did Doug say he would have to leave for this? He said like early morning.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it might be beneficial if we all rest up for today and then we can make our way over.
Okay. Artemir may actually bunk at the circle again, so he doesn't have to keep running back and forth between here and Red Lamp.
Yeah, I was assuming, unless someone said differently, that you are shacking at the bunkhouse. So if there is something other than that you want to do, then you should let me know.
I would just... It's possible this won't actually help us at all, but it may be beneficial if we get back here and haven't jumped 4 story lengths ahead when we get back to the chapter house. Could I send a missive to where I know Tommy would be to see if I can get the like names of the people that he knows have gone missing?
Yeah.
Cool.
You come in clutch.
But yeah,
I'm just like,
he
I
can
just
go ahead
want the name.
Yeah, he can go ahead and work on that for you.
Awesome.
It's probably not going to get to you before you leave.
I figured that it would be here once we return.
Okay. So if everybody else is just going to go ahead and stay at the chapter house, that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
You just go ahead and do your thing and get your rest. Early morning, you are woken up by Cynthia.
Fresh coffee and more scones.
Howard, you do get some communication. It's your assistant Darla. You were supposed to actually have a show that night, but you had to cancel, obviously. But she's pretty much a work from show to show type of girl, and she was really needing that payout. So she's like sending you essentially she's getting messages to you saying, hey, what's going on? Why isn't anything going on tonight? What happened? Are you okay? Please be okay, because this is how I get paid.
Are you saying I was supposed to have a show like the previous night, or like the night that we're doing the
night
this
that you're
today?
doing this? Yeah, I figured you were a responsible businessman, and you went ahead and canceled your appearance for the night.
So you said just sent got a letter to the chapter house, I guess. That's where I got it.
Well, yeah, because she knows people who know you and where you go and stuff like that. So she was like, "Hey, could you just get this message to him, please? Just please."
Gotcha. I was thinking how to the method that I'll be able to respond. Don't know how long all this will take. I'll say that I got tied up in a personal emergency, and sorry I had to cancel, but I'll keep her up to date, and I will try to squeeze in an extra show in the next few days to make up for the missed one.
Yeah, since they're written missives, you don't get an immediate response back, but you do send that back to them.
Once Cynthia comes in, wakes Artemir up, I assume that he probably grabs coffee and then heads to the kitchen to see if that's where everybody else is.
It's definitely a safe bet. Cynthia has been, like I said, getting everybody up, making sure they're awake, and making sure that, well, probably where she's bringing everybody to is like kind of like a little meeting area that, you know, is there, and you know, she already has some stuff out, some scones and baked goods, and there's even like a little thing of bacon. Well, scones and stuff, and then there's like bacon, and there's a bunch of scrambled eggs, and there's some sausages, and lots of protein for some reason today.
Yeah, Larry's getting down.
Yeah, Artemir grabs a little plate, just a little bit of everything.
Okay. And then obviously there's coffee and stuff too.
I am going to take a look around and see if Dougie's in here.
He's sleeping, finally.
Okay. All right.
You actually find out that Robbie got some stuff to help him sleep.
Appreciated. He is a king of substances.
He remembers that one stuff that knocked him out for like 10 hours, and he was like, I bet this will help.
Thank you, Robbie. Enjoy your day off today.
Get a day off?
No.
It's like, well...
He's still an intern. He doesn't get a day off.
He gets a day off from Cassidy.
Right, yeah.
No.
Is Raven still not waking of her own volition?
Solomon is running around going, who let Robbie go home?
And Raven will immediately point to Cassidy.
So no, he's like gone for 10 seconds. Solomon's like, I just got reports of Robbie just running out like a crazy person, and he's like going around town and like just causing mayhem. What happened there? How long's he been gone?
About 10 seconds.
Cassidy said day
He's just
off.
going on a brief holiday.
Your next assignment is Robbie.
Oh God.
There's nothing supernatural going on. It's just
we really need him.
We have to go and get him away from the periphery because he somehow got himself arrested.
It's been 30 seconds. Yeah, we know. So yeah, it's like really early, like pre-dawn hours that you are getting this done right now. So
drinking triple the amount of coffee as normal.
getting in plenty of protein.
Double checking all of her equipment after breakfast.
Yep. And I will assume that also when you got in last night, you gave you put in the proper paperwork. You had people get, your vehicle ready. Got the horses all put up and everything like that.
Larry will also make sure to grab his bat since his knuckles are still healing.
Yeah,
just in case.
And you guys have got a riding carriage so that you can get from point A to point B. It's actually rented, so they are kind of insisting that it comes back in one piece. Especially the horses, which are probably the most expensive part of this ride. So you guys are all ready to go. You have your equipment loaded up. You've got, and I'll say that on top of what the character sheets say, for purposes of this travel, you can pick like 3 other smaller things or 1 big thing to take with you. So if this is where you want to get your Thomas gun, this is the time.
To mount on top of our carriage.
Yeah.
I'll just take my knife.
Cassidy is going to add like a small travel med kit along with her laboratory and research stuff.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to have my the bleed detector that I already have, and then probably ward.
Okay.
Just because I know that we're going to the guy that is theoretically the source of where the bleed was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just take my knife, which is the hand weapon, and I don't know how crazy this is gonna get. So she'll take her body armor.
Works. We'll come out and you'll be in like full armor, and the rest of us are dressed exactly the same as the day before. Artemir has changed his waistcoat and nothing else.
Oh no, well, like how I want to flavor it is like it's kind of like she has one of those what's it called did they have trench coats?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those like slightly dapper trench coats, but it's like disguised as like armor.
Yeah,
it's
that's
armor itself.
Trench coats were actually huge in like World War One in
Mhm.
the trenches.
It's like kind of why they have that name.
I think, but they existed before that as well. They just didn't get that cool name until
Yeah.
the horrifying events of World War One. I mean, if you believe Brotherhood of the Wolf, you know they've been around for even longer. So there's that. Were they just called highwayman coats at some point?
I'm
Something
not
like that.
sure. Let me actually look this up.
Might have just been called long coat at some point in time.
Yeah, that's true.
It was called a long coat for a period.
But there is a
Well, it's also like-
there is a highwayman coat though.
Okay.
That's the
They have
kind
fancier
with the
collars,
cool.
probably.
It's got the cool like thing that comes down here, but you can move it up and clip, and it's like a big collar that goes around your face.
Yeah. It's a Captain Harlock coat.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Not that that's an anachronism or anything.
Larry brings the brute squad. In other words, Larry brings Larry.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Trench coat.
So are we planning to just like confront him at the meeting place, or are we trying to
I was
trick him
thinking
at first or
that,
something?
that we could at least upon going in, because I assume that he is probably going to be jumpy, that we could pretend to be a new owner of the bookstore. Or one of us can. And the rest are the enforcers, I suppose.
What's the end game though? Like, are we just trying to get him to hand over more of this stuff for us to investigate? Or are we trying to get him to come up off some information? What's the end game?
Well, once we've gotten him to talk to us, I would like to force him to continue to talk to us.
Because we need to figure
that
out
way we can-
where he's getting
it.
this stuff.
and whether he knows.
Yeah.
Feels confident enough to kind of pretend to be the new owner.
Howard looks like a very reasonable and rational person.
I mean, I do have a lot of sway, and well, I guess sway would be the main thing for.
He's got a performer's heart. I'm sure that he's got this in it. It's just a little acting gig, right, Howard?
Yeah.
So plan A is, man, this stuff is great. Where does it come from? And what other information we get? And plan B is,
I would like you to grab him by the arm so that he cannot run away.
gotcha.
Give him a little shake.
I mean, she got street smarts, so
Street smart.
Staying at the checkpoint overnight, we could probably get him into a room if need be.
Could be. We could get a room at the rest stop inn. I assume there is one.
Before we head out, can I ask Dougie if does this guy usually come alone? Does he have like people with him? Like, I guess just how does it generally go on his meetups?
He generally will just come by himself. I mean, there's been times. The only time he's actually met with him, he came by himself.
All
I'm
right.
actually
you said
more
it's-
concerned that he came by himself than he had other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Were the requirements of the meeting that you also come alone, Dougie?
No,
Thank you.
We might not want to waltz all 5 of us up to him at once. Immediately, maybe we can have a couple of people,
Hang back.
especially like Larry, if he wants to try to wrap around behind in case he tries to make a run for it, or
I would assume that Larry would make the most sense visually as an enforcer, unless with Raven's big coat, she could also act as that part,
I think
unless she wants to slink around back.
I think the best way to do this would be me, Howie, and Cassidy presenting as being the new owner, the enforcer, and possibly a hired mixologist. Meanwhile, Artie and Raven don't quite show up. They're just not there, if you catch my drift. and then
Yes.
they can be there if necessary.
So while you
Understood.
distraction, we can be like the undercover.
And
Yeah.
then if things go sour with Plan
We can
A,
hide in the wing.
then you're a big part of Plan B.
Alright.
That sounds perfect.
So yeah, Howie, you're the rich guy who bought the bookkeeper off of Dougie, but you don't know anything about mixing a drink, which is why you hired Cassidy. So Cassidy can answer questions about the stuff if need be, and you'd be asking questions about, hey, this stuff is great, where did it come from, that sort of thing. And I just look there and look big, like, hey, maybe answer these people's questions so I don't have to, roll up my sleeves.
Sounds like a good plan.
Just for clarity's sake, are we assuming that we make this plan prior to our carriage ride over, or are we making this plan in the carriage on the way over?
Little column A, little column B.
Also, are we having to like drive ourselves in the carriage, or does it come with a driver?
It was rented, so I would assume it comes with the
Yeah.
driver.
All right, away we go.
Off to Neverland.
Yeah, you guys go ahead and take off. It's a long ride. This isn't normally something that you do. Take these long trips in carriages like this. It's not comfortable, but it's as comfortable as you can get on a ride like this. You could probably have done much better if you had something that a rich person would be taking on a trip like this. But I think you're doing as best you can for what you got. But it is a long, long journey. Any stops that you make for any kind of relief of bodily functions is generally just like on the side of the road, and there's like a copse of trees or something. There's no, this isn't a highway like we're used to in today's terms. You guys even stop for food at some point, food that you guys have packed yourselves, and easily enough for to eat while you're on or in the carriage. So it's not something that you have to get out, cook, anything like that. Getting towards the end of the day, though, you do see up ahead of you the rest stop that was mentioned.
I spy with my little eye exactly where we wanted to be.
Then let's get this show on the road.
So the two of you might want to hop out a little early and find a place to conceal yourselves.
Yeah. Now, are there like people milling about outside this rest stop, or is it pretty like barren?
You'll see like a couple like carriages there, a couple horses, but it's not busy at all.
Okay. So it's not enough of a bustle that we could just kind of disappear into it. We'll have to actually like hide ourselves.
Right.
Once the carriage is stopped, we can figure out a good place to hide you guys, and us three can go ahead and go out front, see what there is to see.
Is it about the time that he said that they would be meeting already? Like right as we arrive? Yeah. Okay.
It's if you would have talked to him a little more, he would have told you like, it's not like a set time. It's just because generally it's once the trade is made, he kind of just goes back to wherever he comes from, and I stay at the rest stop for the night. Kind of a nice little trip out of the city, kind of, almost like camping, but, without all the, danger of wild animals, so.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so Artemir and Raven can hop out of the carriage first if we want to do that, so that we can kind of find space to hide.
Hang out with the horses for a bit, maybe.
Yeah. Artemir's just sneezing repeatedly.
Okay, so yeah, you guys go ahead and get into whatever positions you need, and then let me know when you are going to initiate the meeting.
Anybody?
I guess while that's happening, maybe look for any other place of entry, like secretively.
If you wanted to like hop out of the carriage and like come at it from behind, but general like this little rest stop is honestly just it is a little piece of civilization out in the middle of nowhere. There's a couple spots where there is like a I don't even want to say it's like an awning or anything, but it's just like a roof with some on some stilts where, if you need to get out of the rain or something like that, it's there. There's a couple areas with like a picnic table. Just it's pretty sparse. Not a lot of stuff. There's not like a big building with bathrooms and vending machines or anything like that. It's
Okay.
literally just a spot to rest.
Alrighty. Good to know.
Yes. But like I said, you do see a couple people. Like you see a couple horses that are hitched up in like a carriage.
Did you say that there were a couple of people milling about outside, or was it just the carriages?
You do see like a couple people milling about.
Do any of them look like someone that could be there for a drop? Do I get any hint from that? Do we see anyone that kind of sparks our interest?
I will also say this too. I say carriage, but I'm meaning wagon in this case. It's more of a wagon.
Yeah.
It looks like there's like a tarp coming off the side of the wagon. Again, kind of like a impromptu like little tent area. And then the guys who are just kind of milling about are also by the horses. And it looks like it doesn't even look like they're about to stay. It looks like they're just there to get their bearings, and then they're going to take back off.
Do you think we should set up and see if we can catch this guy?
But yeah, I think we're about ready for the meet.
Okay. I think the question was, did you ask where you were going to set up to catch the guy, or you are set up to catch the guy?
I think mostly the first one. Like, do we want to set ourselves up any particular way, or are we just kind of like going in?
I think
guess
as
it's
long
more
as we
where
stick
Raven
with
and
the
Artemis-
plan, it doesn't really matter where we do it. As long as we know where the hidden people are, we're out in the open. No reason to break out a battle map here.
Yeah.
Good to go then. Cassidy is just going along with it for now.
Okay, so it's safe to say that you are going in nonchalantly, not necessarily undercover, but inconspicuously.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you get in close. You park the carriage. You see the two guys out there kind of acknowledge the driver of your all's carriage, and they get on their horses and start to leave. Again, you don't think it's because you are there now. It's just they were planning on leaving anyways.
I think Artemis kind of tucked himself around the edge of the building, so he's not super easy to spot just from the front, but he can still kind of keep tabs on where the main three are going in.
Okay, and then just to clarify, you say building. Do you mean the carriage?
Oh, sorry. I thought that we were like in the direct vicinity of where the like rest stop in place was.
So again, just to clarify what I mean by rest stop.
Oh, it's like camping camp.
Yeah. There's no like building.
Got you. Okay. Then,
Y'all could even just grab some of the food that we'd had and just kind of make it look like y'all are just sitting at one of the picnic tables, just
and having a picnic. Yeah.
Or just having a meal.
We can probably do that.
Okay. So yeah, you get all nice and set up. Again, you don't really see any activity from the other wagon. Nothing really happening.
Okay.
My curiosity is getting the best of me right now.
Were you still kind of like sneaking, Raven?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Give me a sense roll. No. Give me a survey roll.
5.
Okay. So you are sneaking around. There are trees out there where you're at. There are bushes, like overgrowth and stuff like that. So you are able to, it's not your sneaking that you're used to, but it's doing its thing. And go ahead and give me a hide roll, since that's what you're doing.
A 4.
Okay. So you are sneaking around, and just as you are getting close, you look ahead of you, and you see someone else hiding in the bushes. All right, I think we are going to go ahead and end this for the day. If you would like to follow any of our players, we'll go ahead and have them introduce themselves again and give a social directory or whatever if you want to follow them on social media or whatnot. We'll go ahead and start with Cece.
Hi, this was Cece of Cece Cosplays, playing Cassidy Wild. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok.
Jason?
Jason playing Howard. I don't do a ton of social media, but I guess my Twitter is jcook96. And if you ever want to play PlayStation, I'm Shark1112.
Ray?
I'm Ray, and I was playing Artemir Vainscott. You can find me on Twitter for as long as it remains at Desolatung, or you can also find me on Fansly if you want some spicy content at Dreadful Deer.
And Gothy.
I'm Gothy. If you want to watch me draw, I am a new artist. I have a TikTok, Gothy Oogie, and DeviantArt, just Oogie21. Oh, and a Twitter, which is also, I believe, just Oogie.
Well, I think that'll be good for the day. Hopefully we will do this again sometime soon, and I guess we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for
Bye.
having me.
Bye.
Bye.
It was nice to know you.